Welcome to the fastest daf in town. Today I'm stuck this Yevamot daf Kuf Yud Zayin. Today we're going to begin on the bottom of Kuf Tes Zayin Amud Beis by the Mishnah. Beis Shammai Oimrim. Beis Shammai says Tinase V'titoil Ksubasa, that she can get married and take her ksuba. Now, what is this referring to? So Rashi says two words, alpia, based on her edus that her husband died, so she could actually get remarried. Beis Oimrim Tinase, yes, I agree you can get remarried, however, lo tito ksubasa. So you have a machlokas whether she gets ksuba. Someone had Beis Shammai hitartem erev chamura. It doesn't make sense. You're saying that she can get remarried, which is machmir, very strict. So then what's the problem? You gotta have a ksuba. So Amar Beis Hillel Matzina, we find as we continue to Kuf Yud Zayin Amud Aleph, She'ein ha'achin nichnasin l'nachala al piha, that the brothers cannot collect based on her edus, based on her testimony. As Rashi says, Rachman Omer al pi shnayim edim v'gami nesuin dida hu dekil rabban mishum guna. It's only that because of a guna we're lenient, we're allowing her to get remarried. However, when it comes to the dinim of a ksuba, for that she's not believed. Shouldn't we be able to learn Shu Kaisev law that he wrote to her? Shim tinasi la'acher, that if you marry someone else, titli masha kosev lichi, then you can take whatever's here. So it says straight in the ksuba that when she gets married, she gets the ksuba. So the Chazon Beis Hillel is going to be Beis Shammai. It's kind of hard to disagree with that because the ksuba itself says that when you get remarried, you collect the ksuba. So how could you argue? In fact, Beis Hillel goes back and agrees to Beis Shammai. So Rav Chisda. So Rav Chisda says like this: Nis Yevamot nichnas l'nachla pia. So if you have this woman who is a Yevamot, she is able to enter into the inheritance based on her own testimony. It says Rashi, Zocha b'nachlas achiv, as it says in Perek HaChaylitz, HaKainis is Yevimtoi, that once you get married to a Yevamah, Zocha b'nechsi achiv, then you are able to inherit. So Haim Darshu, namely the Beis Shammai, Darshin a Midrash Ksuba. Anu we lo Midrash Torah. Says Rashi, V'anan lo Midrash Torah bitmia. How can we not follow that? After all, the pasuk says, Yokum al Shem Achib Amrachman Bahari Kam. So it's very clear that the shita should be like the shita of Beis Shammai, that she should get her ksuba. So Rav Nachman, Bois LeBeisdin, they went to Beis-Din, the Amran said, quote, Meis Bailey, my husband died. So the din is, Hatiruni Linase, we allow her to get married. So Matirin Oisal Hinase, Benaisal Ksubasa. So again, what happens is, we'll also allow her to get the ksuba. However, let's say she said, Tenuli Ksubasi. She didn't say my husband died. She said, give me my ksuba. Afli Nase in Matirin Oisa. Even to allow her to get married, or I can allow. So my timer, a diet to the ksuba soy. Clearly, she just wants the money. She wants a ksuba, which is mashma that maybe her husband didn't die, and therefore that's the reason why she didn't give such edus. And the fact that she says, give me my ksuba, that in itself doesn't mean anything. You can't just collect the ksuba for no reason, and therefore she gets nothing. What if she said, Hatiruni linase, allow me to get married, utunuli ksubasi. The fact that she added in, give me my ksuba. Mahu, kivan de amr ksubasa, once she mentioned the word ksuba, daita de ksubasoi, maybe she just wants the money, and Rashi says, udafuki memoina tzahadi bi'inan, and to take out money, you need witnesses. Odilma, kol mili de isle inish armulhu, labeitina. A person says everything that they're requesting to Beis Din. So therefore there's nothing wrong with her saying that. And therefore that statement will allow her to get remarried and allow her to cut the ksuba. What if instead she said the opposite? What if she first said Tunuli ksubasi and then Vatiruni linase? Mao hacha vadi adaita de ksubasoi. Says that was the first thing that was on her mind. Clearly that was her das. So because of that, maybe she would not get it. Since she doesn't really know, says Rashi, to his kira nisuin, she mentioned marriage. She really just wants to get freed up. The reason why she said ksuba first, so it's not necessarily that she's just trying to get money, but really her husband didn't die. Okay, next Mishnah. Hakol nemanim, everyone is believed, la'ida, to testify regarding this situation about a man who died, chutz michai ma'isa, excluding the mother-in-law. The mother-in-law, we're going to see, has not the best relationship with her daughter-in-law, and therefore, for that reason, we don't believe the mother-in-law. For the matter, ubas chamaisa, the mother-in-law's daughter. It's sarasa, the co-wife, a yevimta, as well as the yevama, which is the ashes yevama, ubas ba'ala, or your stepdaughter. So Rashi says the kulhu mipnei shisainais oisa. All of these women have a negative relationship with them. Umischavana kalkola. Maybe she's just causing problems. Chamaisa, the mother-in-law, as we'll see why, Sainasa, she hates her. Shemeres beliba zutaychel kol yigie v'amoli. That this woman, she's taking all the things that are really my sons. V'chein bas chamaisa shemeres zutirash kol omo avi v'imi dani edcha. So they're taking up all of my money, and I'll be left with nothing. She's afraid to be a co-wife. Again, they're eating all my stuff. They're taking all the things that belong to me. Okay. Fine. So these women, therefore, are not believed. Okay. So then the Gemara asks the question. The Mishnah says, "Ma ben get lemisa sheksab moichiach," and this we had previously, that the ksav is moichiach. Says Rashi, "Nemanas lahavi gita memdinas yam." All these women are believed. Go across the country and say v'afagav di alayu samchinan. It sounds like we're relying on them. The srichas lemer nechtam. Because they have to say fanenechtam, but the ksav were saimich on the document. And Rashi says v'samchin ikar ksava. The main thing is the get, and therefore the reason why we believe her is not so much we're believing her; it's just she's holding a get. However, when it comes to misa, these women are not believed. So Iboyel the Gemara asks the question: Bas chamia mahu. When it comes to your father-in-law's daughter, what's the din? Taima de bas chamaisa, the whole issue by your mother-in-law's daughter is mishum deika ema the sanyula hi nami sanyula. So the mother-in-law's daughter hates, so the father-in-law's daughter hates also. V'hacha leika ema de sanyula, so hinami sanyula. V'hacha leika ema de sanyula. O Dilma, time the bas chamaisa the amr ka'achla le girsina. The ima hachanami ka'amr achla le girsin de bein neshaya. Says Rashi le girsana yagia, the effort of my mother shehavia l'avi min beis avia. So the question is, Rashi then says, I feel hachi haka'achla le girsina de bein nasha v'sanyula. So what is the notion? Is it that stam they're hated in general, and maybe when that's only by the mother-in-law's daughter, not by the father-in-law's daughter, or the whole issue is that they are eating up all of my possessions, so that's an issue here as well. So maybe When it comes to Bas Chamia, maybe she's also not going to be Neman to say that the man died. So Tashma, Hakol Nemanim Laha'ida, everyone is able to testify, Chos Mechamish Nashim. These 5. Vim Isa, she's Havoin. There would be 6. Now, Dilma, Taimid Bas Chamaisa, maybe, again, the reason why we say that the mother-in-law's daughter is not able to testify, the Amr Ka'achlo Girsina, the Bein Ashoy. Loshna Bas Chamaisa, Loshna Bas Chamia. So it's very possible that it's really one category. And therefore, because of that, not only is the mother-in-law's daughter not able to testify, also the father-in-law's daughter is not able to testify either. It says elsewhere that 7. He Rabbi Yehuda, he did not. Rabbi Yehuda Moisiv af Ashes of Hakala. That Rabbi Yehuda adds your father's wife, namely your stepmother, as well as Kalata, your daughter-in-law. So according to Rabbi Yehuda, they are included as well as part of people that cannot be trusted. Amrulo Ashes of Harihi B'chlal Basabal. So he said that when it comes to the case of Ashes Av, your stepmother, that's in the same category of your husband's daughter. Kala Hari B'chal Chamaisa. Your daughter-in-law is like the same as your mother-in-law. So Yehuda Bishlam Chamaisa Sanil Lakala. I understand that the mother-in-law hates the daughter-in-law, the Amr Ka'achla Lagirsini, and she's eating up all my stuff. Elakala, my time is Sanil Chamaisa. Why would we say that the daughter-in-law hates the mother-in-law? Where do we find that a daughter-in-law doesn't like the mother-in-law? So Bishlam Bas Habal, I can understand the Bas Habal, the husband's daughter, the Sanil Eshes Av, that hates the father's wife, the Amr Ka'achla Girsini, the aim. El Eshes Av, my time is Sanil Bas Habal. But what's the problem with the father's wife? Why does she hate the husband's daughter? Ella my Maisif Tarti, Ella Kala. So my time Kala, my time is Sanil Chamaisa. So Taka, why does the daughter-in-law hate the mother-in-law? So it's an amazing word. It says the Megal Livna called the Avda. The daughter-in-law hates her mother-in-law because she tells her husband, namely her son, everything that is going wrong. In other words, she steps into the relationship beyond her boundaries, and that causes the daughter-in-law to hate her. Fine. Ashes Avnami Senli Basabal, the Megalavia Koil the Avda. Same thing. The father's wife also hates the husband's daughter because she reveals to the father everything that was done. Rabbanan, Kamayim apanim kain leva adam adam, which is an amazing pasuk that tells us, says Rashi, imhu soichek heim soichekais, imhu oikem heim amukais. If you act straight, other people will act straight with you. If you act crooked, then that's how people will treat you. Kain leva adam, so is the heart of a person, la adam acher. If you love someone, gam zehu ohavo, they'll love you too. If you hate someone, gam hu sainei, they'll hate you too. Hilkach loboy loisvinhu. Therefore, we don't need to include them. It's obvious that that is the reality. That if the mother-in-law hates the daughter-in-law, then it's going to stand to reason that the daughter-in-law is going to hate the mother-in-law back for the same reason, and therefore it doesn't even need to be mentioned among this list. This pasuk is actually talking about Divrei Torah. What does that mean? It says Rashi, when it comes to your heart that you place upon the Torah, Naisin Latara Libcha Oimidlcha Lahamid Girsa Im Yugad Taba, if you work very hard to learn. Timsa, you'll find it. Imo Yugada Lo Timsa. If you don't work very hard, then you're not going to find it. So it's saying, based on your effort, is what the results will be. That's what this pasuk means. Im Rabo Maspir Lopanim, if your teacher's nice to you, Hu Makhem, you'll become wise. the imlav enu machem b'Rabbi. You're not going to learn from him. So there's this notion of panim b'panim, that if you have a good relationship with your student, then they're more likely to also be more receptive to learn from you. That's what it means. Okay, stop there for 1 second. Let's see a couple of questions. Question 9 and then 10. Question 9. Everyone's able to testify, except for these 5 women. What are the 2 that Rabbi Yehuda adds? So he adds your father's wife and your husband's daughter, and v'kala l'chamaisa, your daughter-in-law. And on this, question 9, ve'elu shtayim iboilu b'gemara vo ifshat inemanais. So the 2 people that we're not sure if we believe, the iboilu bas chamiyah. We asked a question regarding bas chamiyah, namely your mother-in-law's daughter, and we'll discuss this more in a couple of minutes, the chamoisa bol achamikan, or a future mother-in-law. Question 10. Question 10 is also TA9, TB11, because it's such an unbelievable question. Madua kal lasainis chamoisa. Why does a daughter-in-law hate the mother-in-law? What is the deal? So either, as we said, because the mother-in-law hates her, the amra ka'achlana lagirsani, the mother-in-law says, oh, she's eating all my stuff, she's taking all my food, ukamayim hapanim lepanim, and the way that you treat others, that's how she's going to respond to you. It's because she reveals to her husband, namely your husband, her son, all these different things about you. So basically it means that she's intrusive in a relationship, and that's something which is not good. Okay, the Gemara continues as follows. Amar Rav Acha bar Avia, Boimer Rav, and they ask a question, Chamaisa habal lachamikan mahu, as we just asked in question 9, a future mother-in-law. Mi maska daita. Does a person have the intent to mace Baal, that the husband's going to die, v'nafal k'mei yavam, and she's going to fall to Yibam, the Saniyah, and therefore she's going to eventually hate this woman? Oh, low, or not. Does a person have that level of thinking? So as we continue to Kuf Yud Zayin Mebez, Tashma. Amra Meis Baili. If a woman says, my husband died, Yachakach Meis Chami, and then afterwards she says, my father-in-law died. Tinase, she can get married. Fatito Ksuba, she can take the Ksuba. However, the Chamaisa Surah. However, the Chamaisa is Aser, says Rashi. Amr Meis Baili Yachach Meis Chami. Ravusa Shmeina, Diafagab the Amr Bereisha Meis Baili. Even though originally she said my husband died, the Nimsa Sheinzu Chamaisa, we find this is not his mother. It's not his mother-in-law anymore. Harihi lo kinachras. She's not like some disconnected woman. Afil hachi lo mehimna. She's still not believed regarding her father-in-law. So because she hated the mother-in-law, but now that her husband's dead, maybe she shouldn't care. So the chiddush is she's still not allowed to say such testimony, even though we believe that her husband's dead, and therefore this is not really her mother-in-law anymore. So my timer, chamoisa surah lamishum, damrin and loy bala mace. Maybe she's actually lying, and that her husband didn't actually die. So this is v'lo chamia mace, and her father didn't die, and therefore this is still her mother-in-law. V'ha de ka'amra hachi l'kilkulach l'chamaisahu kimichavna. She has the intention to cause problems for her mother-in-law. So several l'basar shaita lo teisi titstaran. So they thought after a little bit of time, lo teisi titstaran, right now my husband and her husband are away. So she's not talking badly about me, but in the future, she'll bother me. So we don't believe her in this case. So too, maybe in our Gemara, when there's a question of a future mother-in-law, maybe you should not believe there either. Dilma Shani Hasam Diragish Watsara. That there is some hargasha. Says Rashi, Vasini Shanahi. There was already a basis for this hatred from before. However, it's something which is totally futuristic, so maybe that situation is not a problem. Mishnah. Eid Oimer Mace. So one witness says that the man died. Venises, and she got remarried. Uva Acher. Then later on another guy come. Vo Echad. Yarmelo Mace. Sorry, Harizu Lo Teitze. We say that if she was already married, we're no longer going to require her to separate from the new marriage. Eid Omer Mace. One guy says he's dead. Shnaim Omer Lo Mace. But you have two that said that he's dead, not dead. Here, even though she's already married, because it's two witnesses saying that he did not die, so then she must separate from this marriage. Shnaim Omer Mace. What if two people say he died? Echad Omer Lo Mace. Even if she did not yet get remarried, she's allowed to get married because they have two witnesses that said that he has died. Question 11b. Eid echad omer meis hetiru linase. Uva acher echad v'omer lo meis madin lehinase. Madin imba eid acher shenises him teitze. So, as we said, she does not have to leave that marriage. Taima denises. So when it was 1 against 1, she already got married, so she doesn't have to leave. Mashma holo nise solo tinase. But if you have 1 against 1, she still should not get married. Whenever we believe one witness, hari kan shnayim has the power of 2. Then devar shel echad b'makom shnayim. So she should be allowed to get married. So hachikamer eid echad omer meis. If you have one witness that says the man's dead, v'hetiru alinase, which therefore means we allow her to get remarried. Uva echad v'omer lo meis, and someone else comes to did not die. Lo teitze metera harishon. She does not leave from her original heter, so she's allowed to get married because there was this one witness, and since one witness is enough, we say harikan kishnayim. Says Rashi, v'davka hetiru kaidim shiavo eid sheni hamachishu. That's only if she was already given this heter before this other guy came to contradict. But let's say the guy came before she had this heter. You're only considered to be 2 when the Beis Din says, okay, this one witness is like 2 and therefore she can get remarried. However, it hasn't yet been established, but then all of a sudden this other person comes and says Lameis, so then that first witness is not going to be as strong as 2 at that stage, and therefore she cannot simply get married. Eid Oimer Mace. So Pshita, Dein Devar Shol, Echa B'Makom Shnayim. Obviously it's 1 against 2. Tzricha B'Psule Eidus. We're talking about case of people who are Psule Eidus, like women, 2 women. It says Rashi, Yafagav D'Shnayim She'amru Lo Mace Nashim Hayu. These women who said, oh, your husband, he's not dead. Those are actually women. Hari Eid Rishain Batal Etzlan. The first witness still becomes batal by them. Whenever we believe one witness, then halach acharov deis. We go after the majority of minds. If you have 2 women, it's kishnei nashim b'ish echad. It's like 2 men. The boy same alternatively kol echad yasa eid echad kosher. Mikara, if you originally have 1 kosher witness that comes, afil man nashim ke'ed echad, then even 100 women afterwards is just like 1 damian. Elo kagayin dasoy isha mikara. So it's actually a woman that came originally, and that woman originally said that she could get married. V'tartza l'kureb nechemia hachi, and this is how you explain it. Whenever we believe one witness, we go after the majority of minds. If you have two women against one man, that's considered to be like palga, that's 50-50. That's the same thing. We only do it to go strict. But not to be makel. So again, the middle case was a chumrah, where we said that Teitze, you have to leave this relationship. The seifa of our mission is the opposite. Is that even though you did not yet get married, you're still allowed, and we're not going to remove you from that original heter. Now that element of rob deos is a kula. So maybe in that situation we would not say this. Kamash malon. Okay, we'll stop here again. Let's look at question 11 one more time. Eid echad oimer mace. One witness said your husband died, and we allow her to get married. So what's the din if a witness, another comes, and actually she's already married? So again, hatiruli nase, we allow her to get married. Lo teitze mehater rishain. She doesn't have to leave the first marriage from the first heter. Certainly, if she already got married, then we're not going to require her to leave, but she can stay in that relationship. Adkan.